Good afternoon, class. Last time we discussed about the safe laboratory practice and biomedical waste disposal. Today's topic is sample collection and order of sample collection. It is also a practical topic. So let's start with this new topic, sample collection and order of sample collection. Generally, what is sample collection? The procedure in which specific amount of the specimen collect for a particular investigation can be termed as collection of sample. The collection of sample various types like blood collection, urine collection, CSF collection, sputum collection, amniotic fluid collection, etc. The quality of the laboratory results begin with the correct and complete sample collection. The aim of the collection of the sample to put the sample in a right container and transport as soon as possible into the laboratory. The main aim of the sample collections are accuracy, safety, avoid recollection, minimize patient discomfort and complications. These are the main aims to easy sample collection: accuracy, safety, avoid recollection, minimize patient discomfort and complications. These are the many biological fluids that we can collect it as a sample, like blood, urine, sputum, saliva, cerebrospinal fluid, synovial fluid, amniotic fluid, feces, etc. In the biochemistry lab or in the hematological lab, mainly the sample that is collected is blood. The blood is collected mainly three forms: venous blood, arterial blood and capillary blood. It is the blood also subdivided into three parts. Number one is whole blood, second one is serum and third one is plasma. Whole blood is the sample that we had collected. Serum, it is the centrifuge part of the blood, and plasma also, it is also the centrifuge part or upper part of the centrifugal tube. Blood is the main body fluid that is mostly used for the analytical procedures. It is obtained mainly venipuncture, skin puncture and sometimes arterial puncture. There are different investigations by the blood sample like hematological study, biochemical study, serological study, immunological study and blood transfusion services. In the biochemical study, we mainly investigate the blood sugar, LFT, RFT, lipid profile, etc. In the hematological study, we investigate CBC count and PVS study, coagulation of profile study, percentage of hemoglobin, HbA1c, etc. In the immunological study, we investigate or we detect the antigen and antibodies from the blood sample. In the serological study, we measure HSCRP, CRP, VDRL, HIV, RF factor and different tumor markers. There are some equipment that are required before the sample collection, like sterile needles, vials, syringe, blood tubes, cotton swab, tourniquet, needle destroyer. These are the things we required when we collect the blood sample. This is the procedure of complete blood collection. First, you can enter the patient ID like name, age, sex, which kind of investigations he or she want. After then, you enter all this information in the requesting form. Requesting form, it contain different type of test that perform in the laboratory with patient ID. After that, you find the suitable venipuncture site like different vein or artery. Then you prepare the equipment and prepare patient and punction site, like you clean or disinfected the area where you collect the sample. Then perform venipuncture, collect the sample in a proper container like plain vial or anticoagulant containing vial. After you check the amount is proper or not. If the amount is not proper, then you recollect the sample. Otherwise, you just label on the tube and immediately send into the laboratory with the requesting form. Okay. In a very first, I told you there are 3 type of blood collection: vein puncture, skin puncture and arterial puncture. Arterial blood is collected for the blood gas analysis. Blood gas measurement done by the oxygenation problems in the patient suffering from pulmonary embolism or pneumonia. Okay. The site of the arterial puncture, mainly radial artery, branchial artery and femoral artery. For this arterial puncture, doctors or specially trained technicians required. Always collect the sample in the heparinized syringe. Skin puncture. Mainly capillary blood is obtained from the skin puncture. The sites of the skin puncture or capillary blood, mainly tip of the finger, earlobe and big toe of the infants. Why we required arterial puncture? Mainly when we required limited sample or when severe vein damage, when veins are not available for vein puncture, and the blood collection on a specific filter paper for neonatal screening or molecular genetic testing. So for this we required capillary blood. The most common puncture is the vein puncture, by which we get venous blood. Mainly venous blood is collected. The volume of the blood obtained by the vein puncture is sufficient to perform a number of tests. The main site of the vein puncture: medial cuboidal vein, cephalic vein, basalic vein, back of the hand, wrist area and ankle. You always remember, when you collect the sample, the tourniquet must be applied 3 to 4 inches above the puncture site. And the tourniquet should not be tight and not loose. The most chemical tests are done on the serum samples. So what is the difference between the serum and the plasma? If the blood is withdrawn with the adding any anticoagulant and allowed to clot after 2 or so on, the liquid portion separates from the clot, that is known as serum. And when the anticoagulants present in the vial, and we can centrifuge after we got the plasma. So generally serum lack clotting factors like fibrinogen and prothrombin. There are some instructions when you collect the blood sample. The needle size should be 19 to 20 gauge in adults, and for the children it is 23. Blood is mixed with the anticoagulant in the container. Always use sterile disposable syringe. The needle is detached from the syringe after collect the sample, and as soon as first deliver into the anticoagulant tube or into the plain tube. There are some complications during the blood collection like fainting, hematoma, etc., collapsed vein, seizures, and excessive bleeding. When you get the large amount of the blood sample, then an evacuated tube system with the interchangeable glass tube can be used to avoid the multiple vein puncture. These tubes are commercially prepared with and without additives and with the sufficient vacuum to draw a predetermined blood volume per tube. So when you collect the large amount of the blood sample, then what is the order of the collecting tube? The order of the sample collection tube: first one is blood culture or sterile tubes, second one is coagulation tube, third one is serum or plasma tubes, fourth one is heparin tube, fifth one is EDTA tube, and last, that is fluoride tube, that is used for the detection of glucose. These are the different tubes or vials for the sample collection or for the blood collection. The black top that contain sodium oxalate, it is mainly used in the hematological study. Second one is light blue top. It contain sodium citrate and it is mainly for the coagulation study. It is the plain vial. It contain no anticoagulant, and via the plain vial we get the serum. Another one is EDTA vial or EDTA tube. It is routinely for hematology. The grey top, it is the fluoride vial. It contains glycolytic inhibitor and it is used for the glucose determination. The grey tube, it contains heparin and it inhibit thrombin activation. Last one is yellow top. It contains acid citrate, dextrose, and it preserve RBCs for the blood banking. So these are the different vials or different tubes that we can use for the collection of the blood sample. In the biochemistry lab, mainly these two vials, plain vial and EDTA vial, as well as glucose vial or fluoride vial, mainly used. Anticoagulants. What are the anticoagulants? The substances that prevent the coagulation or the clotting of the blood. The substance are called anticoagulants. If the plasma and whole blood is required, the blood has to be collected into a vial containing anticoagulant. The purpose of the anticoagulant to storage of the blood transfusion or hematological testing. Commonly used anticoagulants are EDTA, double oxalate, sodium citrate, sodium fluoride, acid citrate dextrose, citrate phosphate dextrose. The mainly are heparin and EDTA, ethylene diamine tetraacetic acid. Heparin is the most satisfactory anticoagulant that inhibits the formation of thrombin from the prothrombin, but it does not produce a change in the red cell volume or interfere with the subsequent determination. The cost is very high of the heparin, so we can use the alternative of the heparin. Another one is EDTA, ethylene diamine tetraacetic acid. It has a chelating action on the calcium ion and prevent the coagulation. It is the well suited to DNA based assay. These are the different anticoagulants that is present into the different vial. In the purple vial it contains EDTA, in the sky blue vial it contains sodium citrate, in the grey top or grey vial it contains potassium oxalate or sodium fluoride. In the red vial or red tube there is no anticoagulant. In the yellow vial it contains acid citrate dextrose, and in the green top or green tube it contains heparin. There are some effects of storage on blood cell. Various changes occur in the anticoagulant blood when stored at a room temperature. RBC count, WBC count, platelet count are usually stable after the blood collection for 8 hours and within 24 hours, and the hemoglobin concentration is unchanged for many days. Another sample collection, that is urine collection. Urine is the ultrafiltrate of the plasma. It can be used to evaluate and monitor body metabolic diseases, processes, DNA adducts, etc. Urine collection is more convenient. Urine collection is more inconvenient than the blood collection. The type of urine selected and the collection procedure used to depend on the test to be performed. First morning sample, random morning sample, random sample, fractional sample, timed sample, and midstream collection sample. Morning urine sample. To collect the first morning urine sample, it is mainly for the microscopic examination, for the protein detection, and for the HCG test, that is pregnancy test. Random urine collection, random urine sample, it can collect anytime for the estimation of glucose and ketone bodies. Fractional sample, it is the second, it is when first morning urine is discarded and second sample is collected, it is the fractional urine sample. It is mainly used to compare the concentration of analytes in the urine with the concentration of analytes in the blood. Midstream collection, it is mainly for the investigation of bladder disorders. So these are the different type of urine collections. Next one is cerebrospinal fluid collection. CSF is collected by the lumbar puncture. In the adult, it is L3 to L4 level, and in the children's, it is L4 to L5 level. Generally, CSF collection prefer into the morning. Anti-glycolytic agents are not added into the CSF sample. CSF sample mainly used for the diagnosis of meningitis, cerebrovascular accidents, and metastasis. (20 ml) of the CSF fluid can be easily collected. Another body fluid is synovial fluid. Synovial fluid, it is a clear fluid that serves as a lubricant in a joint and in the tendon sheet. It is collected mainly from large joints of like knee, ankle, hip, elbow, and shoulder. Generally, Synovial fluid is analyzed to determine the type of arthritis and the different non-inflammatory effusions from inflammatory fluids. The sample is collected mainly 3 to 4 type of tubes like plain tube, ETTA tube and fluoride tube. Also microscopic slides are prepared for the staining of the gram. Next sample collection is the sputum collection. The main aim of this sputum collection to identify the bacterial, viral, fungal, viral and fungal suspected infections and its sensitivity to the antibodies. The sputum sample always collected into the sterile, disposable and impermeable container. Next one is saliva collection. It is the efficient, painless and relatively inexpensive source of biological materials for the certain assay. The saliva contains both organic and inorganic constituents. Organics are proteins, urea, lactic acids, and inorganics are sodium, potassium, calcium, chlorides, bicarbonates. Many enzymes are also in the saliva like amylase. So amylase and mucin are the main organic constituents. How to collect the saliva? First, you wash and rinse the mouth. Then take 10 ml of warm water and gargling for 2 minutes, and then collect the saliva in the clear beaker. By the saliva, we can measure. The saliva is mainly used for the test of amylase, mucin, calcium, inorganic phosphate, chloride, etc. The last one is amniotic fluid connection. Amniotic fluid generally collected by the amniocentesis. It is used for the diagnosis of congenital disorder, fetal maturity, Tay-Sachs disease, thalassemia and many more. Generally, 10 ml of amniotic fluid aspirated into the syringe and it is transferred into the sterile containers and the urine cups and transport into the laboratory. So this is all about the different type of samples and sample collection. The main sample collections are blood collection, urine collection, sputum collection, CSF collection. From this topic generally asked 3 or 5 mark question. Okay.
Welcome and thank you for choosing freeconferencecall.com. We are helping people around the world.
Thank you so much.